Right.
Fat Joe was squashing the beef. I had it. And Irvin Ja was like, nah, we ain't squashing shit.
You didn't start the
No,
but you
and I'm
squash it
not
either.
good because I didn't start it. And listen, I didn't start it, and I don't continue it. I mind my business.
Did you really buy Ja Rule's tickets, like seats at his concert? You did?
Cheap tickets. The tickets were very affordable.
Right.
They was on like StubHub. Yeah, I bought the first 4 rows.
How many did you buy? If you say you bought the first 4 rows, is that a couple hundred?
Yeah, it was cheap though. It was cheap tickets, so it was something to do.
So things just got messy between 50 Cent and Ja Rule again. Out of nowhere, Ja decided to stir the pot, taking shots at 50 like we're still in 2003. You'd think after all these years, things would have cooled off, but Ja still seems tight about how things went down back in the day. But now Fat Joe also jumped in, and he claims that Ja is the one who wants to keep the beef alive. And apparently, it all goes back to the time in Atlanta when 50 knocked Ja out.
All right, cool. Ja Rule there. This is after 50 got murdered. I don't believe you. Black child. I'm there. Nigga fifth. KO.
It seems like Ja never got over this, and now the whole thing's blowing up again with Ja and 50 exchanging shots on social media. So let's break it all down.
I don't know what you heard about me, but if you can't get a dollar out of me, no Cadillac, no perms, you can't see that I'm a motherfucking B.I.
So you all know 50 Cent and Ja Rule have been beefing for years, and it doesn't look like that's ending anytime soon. Ja kicked things off by hopping on X to throw major shade while flexing his tour earnings. Ja posted a montage from one of his shows with the caption, "Y'all going to that Ja Rule concert? Imagine trying to clown someone currently on tour making 6 figures a show. You ninjas cook. 50 Cent, take notes like you've been doing this. What a real performer looks like. LMAO." But 50 Cent didn't waste time firing back. A few days later, he posted a screenshot of a report showing his July 4th show at London's Tottenham Hotspur Stadium had sold out. And he wrote in the caption, "How do you win a fight if you're fighting someone who is too stupid to know they lost? Just keep hitting them till they stop moving." But it didn't stop there because others jumped in to keep the drama going. First up, it was Tony Yayo, who shared a wild story about 50 Cent knocking out Ja Rule in Atlanta.
Yeah, Chad's like, go in the hotel. Yeah, it was so good. All right, cool. Ja Rule there. This is after 50 got murdered. I don't believe you. Black child. I'm there. Nigga fifth. KO that. So look, Ja Rule just come in the elevator. Murder! So look.
He didn't say that. He didn't say murder. I can't.
I'm not a rapper. I never was with this rapper shit. I just was along for the ride, no thing. I wasn't with all this rapper shit. You heard? Fifth, he is Southpaw. Fifth is Southpaw.
Yeah. Hold on. What is Wait.
Any rapper want to fight?
Wait. How did it? What did run up and say?
Murder! I'm from the hood. I would still make my phone was still ringing. Nigga, I had spins on my phone. I ain't know nothing.
And then Fat Joe also joined the chat, and he said Ja is bitter because beefing with 50 did real damage to his career. According to Joe, 50 didn't just diss Ja, he launched a full-on campaign that painted Murder Inc. as soft, which hit hard in the early 2000s when street credibility meant everything in hip-hop. Joe pointed out that Ja was dominating the charts with radio-friendly hits, but once 50 started questioning his street image and mocking his style, the public perception shifted. Labels got nervous, Murder Inc. came under federal investigation, and Ja's momentum dried up.
See, the problem with Ja Rule and 50 is that 50 slowed him up to where before that, Ja Rule was the Drake of the term with all the hits.
Fat Joe also revealed that he actually tried to step in and squash the beef between Ja Rule and 50 Cent. According to Joe, he saw how destructive the feud had become, not just for Ja, but for New York hip-hop as a whole. So he made a serious effort to broker peace. But just when it seemed like progress was being made, Irv Gotti and Ja Rule shut it down completely, telling Joe flat out they weren't interested in peace.
You know, I was squashing the beef.
Right.
Fat Joe was squashing the beef. I had it. And Irvin Ja was like, nah, we ain't squashing shit. Yeah, I swore I had it. Like, I don't want to put it on 50, but I think 50 was almost like, yo, Joe, whatever you want to do. So I had that. And then when I went to them, they was like, fuck that, this, that.
Now, if you need a quick refresher on how this legendary beef kicked off, it actually dates back to 1999 when Ja was robbed at in Southside Jamaica, Queens during a video shoot. And later on, 50 revealed in his memoir that it was one of his boys who pulled off the robbery. But Ja had a totally different take on how it all went down. He admitted the robbery happened, but he denied ever seeing 50 with the guy who did it. And according to Ja, the real issue wasn't even about the robbery. He claimed it started when 50 Cent got in his feelings after being iced out by the Murder Inc. crew during their shoot for Ja's track Murder for Life. 50 then dropped Life's on the Line. And while he didn't mention Ja by name, the track was clearly aimed at him and Murder Inc., even mocking their trademark murder chant. And that's when the whole thing blew up and things got physical between 50 and Ja in Atlanta. Both of their chains got snatched in the fight, and someone from 50's crew reportedly ended up with Ja's pendant. Now, according to 50, they later swapped it back for a Movado watch. But once again, Ja denied that version, claiming 50 had nothing to do with his chain getting taken.
That was 50's version of the story, and he had, I guess, taken your chain and someone traded him a watch to get your chain back. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I've heard this.
You've heard this story.
And it's foolery. You know what I'm saying? That's why I'm like, this nigga tells, he's good at what he does. He tells stories and I call him MC Gusto. You ever seen CB4?
CB4, yeah.
That's who he is in real life to me.
Now, fast forward to March 2000, and word got around that 50 was recording at the Hit Factory in NYC, and Ja and his crew showed up. Things escalated fast, and 50 ended up getting stabbed. Both Ja and Murder Inc.'s Black Child were arrested, and Black Child later took credit, claiming it was self-defense. But 50 never made a big deal about it in interviews, and he just kept it moving.
Then I didn't even go to the hospital. The little scratch I had only was for 3 stitches. I didn't go to her. I went home. And I'm in the radio hearing I went to the hospital. So they had me, I was like, all right. That's when it just was involved the day after.
You know what I mean? Right there and right there. 2 scratches. That's all bitch ass niggas could do. You know what I mean?
They always make it bigger than it is.
But of course, things didn't end there. In 2002, 50 signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Shady Aftermath and dropped the No Mercy, No Fear mixtape with G Unit. That's where Wanksta came in, a brutal diss track aimed at Ja and Murder Inc. The track came out in 2002 on 50's No Mercy, No Fear mixtape and gained traction after being featured on the 8 Mile soundtrack. It was one of the first tracks that helped 50 explode into the mainstream. Lyrically, 50 mocks rappers who talk about money and street life but are broken soft in reality, use street credibility as a marketing gimmick, and can't back up their tough guy persona with actual action. Meanwhile, after the Hit Factory incident, Irv Gotti accused 50 of filing an order of protection against Ja and Murder Inc., basically questioning 50's own street credibility. But here's the part Gotti didn't mention. The order was real, but it was issued automatically by the NYPD, and it wasn't something 50 specifically asked for. But that still didn't stop Ja from posting it online and calling 50 a rat. Now you already know 50 wasn't about to let that snitch talk slide. He fired back on Back Down, a ruthless diss track that shredded Ja's image and torched Murder Inc.'s street cred. But just 2 months later, Ja fired back with Loose Change, going nuclear, not just on 50, but on G Unit, Eminem, Haley, Dr. Dre, Busta Rhymes, and even Chris Lighty. He accused 50 of being a snitch, threw a homophobic jab at Dr. Dre, made wild accusations about M's crew, and also dragged M's wife into it. But 50 wasted no time responding, and he, Eminem, and Busta clapped back with Hail Mary, a vicious parody that mocked Ja's Tupac obsession and dismantled him bar by bar. Now, Ja tried to pivot with his 5th album, Blood in My Eye, shifting to a harder, more aggressive style, but it backfired. The album was slammed by critics, and fans weren't feeling it either. And after that, Ja never really came close to the success of Pain is Love or The Last Temptation. And that's when Ja and Irv Gotti finally had to admit defeat.
Do you think, because you say now you could say, in hindsight, you could say, yes, we took an L there.
Yeah, we took an L. But listen, the thing about it is when you're going through it, you're going through it. So you got to think of ways. But I'll take you back to we was in my office, me and Rule, right? We in the office, and Flex was about to play In the Club, right? So Flex plays In the Club. That record was so dope. I looked at Rule, I said, yo, you have a major problem.
Did you really say that?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And see, now we're in such a thing, and I'm happy that we can talk about it. Right. Yeah, we took the L. We took the L. But you know what? people take L's. It's not the L, it's what you do, and if you keep swinging and keep fighting.
Of course, you're gonna keep going. Yeah. But what's interesting to me about that is why did you why do you think? Because why do you think he was able to do that to you?
Because it was a lot of things surrounding that.
Because of that plaque I told you about.
Because you had all that, because you were all the way at the top. The timing.
Not only was we winning, we was dominating.
But 50 still wasn't done. At Hot 97's Summer Jam in 2014, he trolled Ja again by performing his diss track, I Smell P, just to remind everyone who came out on top. And of course, Ja couldn't resist and clapped back in his memoir, Unruly, the highs and lows of becoming a man, doubling down on the old claim that 50 snitched to the feds, which led to Murder Inc. getting raided. But 50 denied it and kept trolling, pushing Ja to the point where he completely snapped on social media, claiming he owns 50's soul and calling him his bitch. Ja said, let's be clear, I mind my business, but for some reason, 50 Cent keeps my name in his mouth. I think he'd rather have my D in his mouth, LMAO. But that's when 50 pulled off one of the most savage, petty moves and bought 200 tickets to Ja's concert just so the front rows would be completely empty.
Did you really buy Ja Rule's tickets, like seats at his concert? You did?
Cheap tickets. The tickets were very affordable.
Right.
They was on like StubHub. Yeah, I bought the first 4 rows.
How many did you buy? If you say you bought the first 4 rows, is that a couple hundred?
Yeah, it was cheap though. It was cheap tickets, so it was something to do. Like if you don't look at me like that, man.
All right, man.
We done it for years. It's just I looked at it. I said, "Yo, this is the." I just want you to feel like you gotta reach the people. There's like 4 or 5 rows back.
What is this? That 2 decades later, it's still this.
No, I mean it's not that big of a sacrifice for me. Now I've bought things that mean less to me.
Right.
Oh my gosh. That was fun. That was like watching it. Let me see the show and see the spaces are empty because they are reserved for someone else. They're not supposed to be sitting.
That's brutal. That's so brutal.
Man.
But see, there's another layer to all this that goes beyond all these petty jokes. A lot of people believe the beef runs way deeper than rap, and rumors have swirled for years that Ja Rule may have been connected to the 2000 shooting that nearly killed 50. And while nothing was ever proven, some believe Ja and Murder Inc. had ties to Kenneth Supreme McGriff, a notorious kingpin who had beef with 50. Irv and Ja hired Supreme as a bodyguard after Supreme got out of jail. He wasn't associated with crime, but he still had connections. This gave Kenneth a legal job and made Murder Inc. look tough. So the theory goes that 50's track, Ghetto Quran, upset Supreme. So a hit was put out, and that's how 50 got shot 9 times. And whether you believe it or not, it explains why this beef between 50 and Ja is still going on all these years later. But let me know your thoughts on all of this. Is this thing between 50 and Ja just regular rap beef or something much more serious? Do you think there's any chance this beef ever gets squashed, or is it just too deep at this point? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and I'll catch you in this next video.